perspective, this is what our understanding is, the distinction between creativity, invention, and innovation. And the key thing that I want you to know from the innovation thing is that it really has to be accepted by the user, whether it's an internal user, it's a new service or a product you created in-house, or something external. And one of the quotes I always like to use from Art Fry, the Post-it note inventor, whom we know quite well, is he says it has to be useful. If people find it useful, they're going to use it, they're going to be willing to pay for it. So, and then some of these other quotes are just from Art as well. As research is the transformation of money into knowledge, and innovation is the transformation of knowledge into money. And then this one of the interactive exercises we're going to have you do from an innovation perspective is what you're really going to get out of this interactive exercise today. When I use this at Johnstech, I'm an employee of Johnstech now, but before I joined Johnstech in September, I was doing consulting to them. I was coaching a senior project manager there and his team because they were having a hard time kind of coming together and jump-starting the team. And one of their key learnings when they did their technology feasibility wrap-up for their first gate of their project is they really realized that innovation requires many people working together, and the formula is 1 + 1 = 3, and that's the synergy that drives innovation.
And the other, continuing on the conversation of, this is a 3-hour experiential workshop that we normally do. So this, doing it in 45 minutes, we're going to dive you into one of the fun pieces. This kind of an entry-level one to get you started, and you'll all get a taste of what every one of these exercises is about. But when it's done with the whole group, there's a manual that comes with it, and it's a facilitated manual that for the facilitator, there's also an employee or all the people that are learning it, no matter what role they have in the organization, and they actually get something like this bound. They do their work for the 3 hours using this and come away with a follow-up source document that's got the key elements of innovation in it for them. So does anybody have anything to offer about why do organizations stifle innovation? Some ideas about what might make innovation stifling?
Middle management.
Okay. What about middle management?
Well, focus on the status quo. Risk averse.
Okay, so someone's pushing the envelope, or like Jim Collins was saying this morning.
And no offense to any middle manager.
Yeah, working out there at the edges can kind of stifle, pour cold water on people that maybe are the more spirited type. Yeah, anything else?
It doesn't have an immediate return on your investment, like a short-term return.
There you go. And I've even heard some people say in circles talking around creativity especially, which ties in and supports innovation, is if you're trying to measure an ROI financially on creativity, you're probably asking the wrong question, or you're barking up the wrong tree. Yep. So how does one define a culture of innovation?
This next slide here, this is kind of my aha when I was still at 3M, and we were kind of going to a lot of, if you're familiar with our Innovation Network, the Convergence Conferences, and American Creativity Association, and I ran into innovation consultant. He was actually a longtime business colleague at DuPont, Charlie Prather. He has a company called Bottom Line Innovation, and this was the model they used to drive their Creativity and Innovation Center and DuPont. And my aha from that was that we talk about culture so much. He really helped me realize the distinction between culture and climate. And culture is really about your values, your beliefs, kind of your purpose, like what Jim Collins was talking today. And then the environment is that middle piece about attitudes. And then attitudes drive behavior. And so often in organizations, when we want change, we usually go straight to behavior. And we don't understand that the culture of the organization, you have to understand the values and the beliefs first. Those in turn affect the attitudes of the people in the organization, which really is the environment. And then those drive the behaviors. And what I always tell people, I give as an example, as many of you know, that a GE executive came into 3M back in 2002, brought in Six Sigma, and it started to erode the culture of innovation at 3M because everything was so much Six Sigma. And like Jim again was saying today, you have to have discipline, but it was all discipline and no creativity. So that's my distinction that I like to share with you, because I think people use culture and environment interchangeably, and they're really two different things.
When people go through the whole, after afternoon workshop, and you have it in your innovation white paper, which is, there's about 4 copies circulating around amongst the tables. Keep them moving. But they're downloadable, so they're on the FEI website, and they're downloadable. And in there we have the McKnight principles, and that's one of the ways 3M for decades, and it's still even pulled out today, keeps that culture alive and tries to support that climate. Maybe you want to speak to it just for 30 seconds, Kim, about McKnight?
Yeah, well, McKnight was the founder of the company. I always told people he was kind of like ahead of his time. But he was very much into allowing people to take risks and fail fast. And the principles were trust, perseverance, caring, and loyalty. And I mean, I found those out like 10 years after I had been at 3M. But it's really interesting that he was really very ahead of his time. I think he was coming like 1930s or something like that. Or even ahead of that.
Yeah, I think he retired as president like in 48 or 49 after like 40 some years as president of 3M. But the example that ties into what we were talking about just a moment ago is in the McKnight principles, and you'll see it's in the innovation white paper it's captured. He speaks about allowing people to make mistakes, and that if you don't allow people to make mistakes and then not chastise them, you're going to stifle innovation. So that's another key point. 3M over the decades has put a tolerance for understanding things that don't come out the way somebody wanted. I'll speak to this one. I started my engineering career with General Motors, and it's, I will say it's been sad to see that company imploding. I've been watching it for about 30 years or more, just kind of folding in on itself. And I think we're seeing what may be the last chapter being played out now. I hope not for the sake of the employees, but it's been tough. But one of the techniques the Scanlon organization uses to draw out some of that hidden meaning of a culture in an organization is they'll ask people in a breakout session to draw a picture of what you think the organization looks like. And so these are 2 from a session that Paul had done with Scanlon going to General Motors outline plants and divisions, and one of them here is like the Titanic. It's got 3 anchors coming down, which means programs they've been doing, initiatives have actually been holding the ship back. It's got 3 propellers. It's got multiple rudders. Where's it going? What's the direction? It's got bombs coming in the top. I think I saw a Toyota on one of them. So, and then they've got some deck chairs up there. So perhaps that thought that maybe management or leadership is just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. Then another one over here. Remember Roger Smith, that movie Roger and Me from Michael Moore? I married a woman from Flint, Michigan, so that's not one of our prouder moments of having to watch that movie. But